Hi guys, Eric Pathy back here at pickdogs.com. It is 6:47 on November 17th, 6:47 Eastern Standard Time. So let's talk about it. I come on here each and every week, Al. I'm going to bring up the table and so I can stand up. The blood is flowing. The phone is exploding. And I always use the word variance, which can you explain before we get into this special video? Can you explain what you define as variance? Because a lot of people go, "What does variance mean?" You know what it means.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what my mother-in-law used to say.
Go ahead.
Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose.
So that's exactly right. And just like in the stock market or any financial market. So this is the thing. I come on here and I look, obviously I realize every day somebody's first day or last day of joining. And every day new people join and we have long-term clients like our good friend Brett, the bookkeeper. But again, when I have someone like him that is from last season crossing over to this season, they have all that behind them of those positive results. So obviously it's not as relative if we have a bad day. This yesterday, I would say as Saturday, and today really not that bad, but yesterday, unit wise, win loss wise, was because of the variance, the volume of college basketball combined with the NBA, combined with the college football. It's a lot of games, but if you're managing your money, you can handle the variance. So, like you, for instance, you went on Twitter and you said what?
Oh, like yeah, on Twitter, this morning I said, Saturday and Sunday, 0-7 on my top-rated football plays. You know, it was actually surprising. I got so much support on Twitter. Usually, you don't expect that from the Twitter community. You expect a lot of bashing. The
Right.
old "you suck" or whatever. I instantly got, I think, about 11 messages, all supportive, all saying, hey, great season so far. No big deal. It happens, part of the game, that kind of stuff, which I didn't really expect on Twitter. But it's, doesn't, I mean, it made me feel a little bit better, but it still stings. I've been doing this for 46 years, but when you get hit like a Mack truck, on Saturday and Sunday like we did, it, obviously it doesn't feel good. You never get used to it, even after doing it for 46 years.
You never get used to it, but you're not surprised by it. And one of the reasons why I
No.
love doing these videos is the transparency because it's easy when you win. But you're up 100. So I'm just rounding this, and obviously we'll get the final numbers and we'll go check them against our big clients like Brett, the bookkeeper. But when you look, we were up 159 units on the last video that I said we were up 159 units. Right now, roundabout, let's say we're down 40 units, maybe even 50 units this week. So that still means for the season, since August 27th, you're up 101 units. Now, obviously, to the client that joined today or the client that joined yesterday, that doesn't matter. But when you look at the total body of work, like you're documented on Sports Watch Monitor, and you're looking at all of your records that are posted at PickDogs, as well as your own site, the body of work, I would say, Al, matters more than the variance of having two shitty days.
It does, and yet it doesn't. Is the best way I would say it. Because people get spoiled. People want, the excellence every single weekend. It's a very unforgiving business, and you lose one weekend, and there are a lot of people, and I get it. I've been doing it for 46 years. There's a lot of people that don't take that very well, and I am sympathetic to the, especially to the new guys. Obviously,
Right. And
I
I am
mean,
also sympathetic to the clients that practice the proper money management. I'm not sympathetic to clients that get mad because they blew all their bankroll on your 8 unit play. And it's hard for me to be that sympathetic because I know that if somebody joined today or yesterday and they've had the worst 2 days, I know that if we're playing the long game, which is why I don't do the all access on daily service, and you're doing a month, you're doing 3 months, you're doing 6 months, you're doing a year, it all equals out with the bell curve and the variance, and it all equals out. So I'm not really, you're not taking yourself to zero. If somebody texts me and they go, I blew myself out today, Al, it's hard for me to be empathetic to that individual client. But if somebody, because like I just got off the phone with Brett before we did the video to double check the numbers, you heard him, he was on speakerphone. Could care less. You said your partner could care less. Not your partner, but your friend. You called him and told him, "Hey, we had a." He said, "What did he tell you?" You said, "No big deal.
It's okay.
It's
Because
okay."
it's okay.
First of all, it's got to be okay because what are you going to do to change it? Except, so I want to ask you about the psychology. Then we'll get into a complimentary selection for Monday. The database featured in ESPN is an absence of emotion. So a lot of people, when they hear terms or they watch these movies and they sensationalize gamblers like mush or going on tilt and all this stuff, there's no tilt, there's no double dipping, there's no adding extra units to try to make up. It's just, I believe, knowing you as long as I've known you, that while you're not happy, it's not changing what you're doing the next day. You're not in a
No,
rush.
no, and I'm not reactive. I also don't react like, some people. For example, I was joking about it with Mitch and Jay on our NFL video this past week. We were talking about how there's always certain teams, that handicappers play, and you do it against, I mean, you kind of know they suck, but you're still playing them anyway because that's what the numbers say. And so for me this year, it's the New York Jets and the Tennessee Titans.
Right.
And I joked with Jay and Mitch on Thursday. I was like, yeah, I mean, I'm on the Jets and Titans again, and of course they suck again. But that doesn't necessarily. But I'm never reactive. I'm never going to not play them. I haven't even looked at next week, so I've got no idea. I think one of the teams that has an off week, so I won't be on them. But I think the Titans are in action. But maybe I'll be on them. Maybe I won't. Whatever the numbers say is what I'll do. But I don't even react to being on a team and having them, lose 3 weeks in a row. Like that stuff is just beyond me. I just look at the numbers. I'm very unemotional with that.
Right. And like you said, 46 years of being in the trenches of this business. I mean, anybody that's going to flip out is like, and again, I understand, but the reason why I say I am less sympathetic than you is I understand being upset because you had a losing day. And then, the question I'll get is, and I didn't get this question this week, and then we'll move on to the complimentary selection, is how could he go 0-7 on his top plays? He's
We
got
talked.
this.
We talked about that. Ironically, we talked about it. Remember, we talked about my
Right,
handicapping friend a
your
few weeks
other guy,
ago.
right.
I
But
think he was 0-8, and that was, and we talked. That's the one thing clients. That's the one misunderstanding of a lot of people is how can good handicappers go lose 8 in a row? You get the emails. If you're a professional, you should never. It's like it's absolutely not true. I mean,
I
it's
had a client text me and he goes, "This is unacceptable."
yeah. I had the exact same words yesterday, and I replied to that guy. I said I was
And I'm not
66 and
laughing
30.
at him. I'm just laughing at the fact that he doesn't understand. A, I'm betting my own money on these games, and B, that he obviously hasn't been doing this long enough to know that anything can happen. Because if you were 7-0, nobody's questioning how did you go 7-0.
Well, yeah, because like on Friday we were 6-1, right? So
Right.
like one day separates a 6-1 from a whatever. We were 0-5 on our top rated football plays on Saturday. So the guy texted me, last night, and he was like, "This is unacceptable." And I was like, "We were 66-33 on all of our college football selections going into Saturday. It seems acceptable to me."
Exactly.
you
So with
know,
that being said, we just wanted to put it out there. Our new clients, our old clients, we talk about the good, we talk about the bad, we talk about the ugly. As of right now, at this time, 6:56. I will say that right now, if everything stayed the way it was, we're still up 100 units for the season. With that being said, what is your Monday night complimentary selection? I want an acceptable one, only an
oh god.
acceptable one.
Well, we're going to look at the Monday Night Football game. You got the Houston Texans, you've got the Dallas Cowboys. Obviously, Dallas is playing really poorly this year. Cooper Rush at QB. They're 7.5 point dog. For me, I understand all of Dallas's frailties. I understand they don't beat winning teams. But you take a look at the Houston Texans, they've got a negative scoring margin on the season. And for me, I do not lay 7 or more points with teams with negative scoring margins on the year. I'll lay 4, I'll lay 2, I'll lay 6. When it hits 7, it's really a no-go. You take a look at how teams do over 45 years. So I don't care about 1 week or 5 weeks or whatever. But take a look at how teams do over 45 years when they've got a negative scoring margin and they're laying 7 or more points. They've gone 237 and 320 ATS. I mean, that's hard to, find anything good out of that. And including 1 in 6 ATS this season. So if you do care about, well, okay, I understand it was crap for the last 45 years, but what about lately? Well, it's 1 in 6 ATS this season. So yeah, you don't lay 7 or more points with bad teams. Actually, 2 and 6. There was a game today that got in the win column. I think the Miami Dolphins blew out Las Vegas. So we'll say, okay, 2 and 6 this season.
So we're taking the dog?
Yeah, we're going to take the dog. I mean, I'll take the 7.5.
There you go, guys. 702-769-0404. Even with 2 bad days, text me if you're a high net worth individual. Up over 100 units this season. Good day and good luck.